Now, look, you may not like to say Jesus is the Father. That's fine. You may not like that term. That's fine. But here's what I want you to understand. And here's why I don't think it's a big deal. Because if I said, or if somebody said, Jesus is the Father, right? Versus someone saying, Jesus is not the Father. You know what this sign right here means? If we were to have a word, a mathematical word question, whenever the equal signs comes out, you know what you would say? You'd say is. This symbol means is. So when someone says Jesus is the Father, you know what they're saying? They're saying Jesus equals the Father. Didn't we just read that he thought not robbery to make himself equal with God? Therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but that also that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. And when someone says Jesus is not the Father, I don't like the term Jesus is not the Father. You've never heard me say Jesus is not the Father. You say, why? Because when someone says Jesus is not the Father, you know what they're saying? They're saying Jesus equals not the Father. You have a problem in Scripture at that point. No, I'm not. You say, well, I like saying Jesus is the Father. I don't like to. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. Because people will come to me, they'll send emails or text messages or whatever. Or they'll go on Facebook and they'll say, well, Pastor Jimenez said in a sermon that Jesus is the Father. Or they'll say, well, Pastor so-and-so in some sermon said that Jesus is the Father. Here's the point I'm trying to make. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. I don't have an issue with that. Yeah, are you going to go back on what you back on anything? Jesus, there are three that are one. I don't think there's a problem with in fact, I have more of a problem with saying Jesus is not the Father than saying Jesus is the Father. Well, you said in an old sermon that Jesus is the Father. Yeah, because there are three that are one. Pastor so-and-so said in an old sermon that Jesus is the Father. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. You know why? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that Jesus is the Father, as long as what you mean by that there are three that are one.